As the NBA has shifted towards the three-point line, the most dangerous and often used play is the pick and roll. The reason is simple. When a player screens the initial defender on the ball, this naturally creates a 2-on-1 advantage, and the ball handler has many options. If the screen is set well, he can pull up for an open jumper. If the team switches, the player has a natural mismatch that they can take advantage of. Sometimes you'll see players weave like Joe Ingles to get to a spot and either pull up or throw the lob, but because of this powerful concept, many players often rely on the pick and roll to get their stats. For example, Chris Paul has said many times that he has made a living through the pick and roll because there's so many options, and more often than not, players can use the pick and roll to get what they want. Now this stat that needs to be created is something that Chris Paul and Draymond Green have vocalized about. And so it's nothing that I've created, but more so want to talk about more. And instead of explaining it myself, why not have one of the greatest point guards of all time do it?
There's no stat for this yet, but there should be a stat at some point for big men who roll out and get other people's shots.
Right. Suck the defense into the lane.
Exactly. And that's something that Nerlens does night in and night out. So does Steve-O. You know, and Nerlens and Steven giving themselves up night in and night out so guys can get their shot.
So what is Chris Paul talking about? Well, I mentioned that the pick and roll is to help create a power play, and the defense needs to figure out how to shorten the time the offense has that advantage as much as possible. What some teams will do is have the guy in the corner, known as the low man, sink in the paint in case the big man rolls hard and has an open lane. That way the gap closes, and this gives the big man in the pick and roll time to come back to their initial assignment. But because the low man is sinking, this leaves the guy in the corner open, and what Chris Paul is talking about is how big men that roll hard create more pressure on the low man to sink instead of sticking to their initial assignment, and they should be rewarded for that. For example, here the Suns run the double pick and roll, and you can see that Aiden is open. Because of this, Zion, the low man in this case, comes and helps, which leaves Kaminsky open in the corner, and he nails a three. But on this play, Chris Paul would get the assist and Kaminsky gets the points, but Aiden's roll to the basket helps create that advantage and also should be rewarded for that. Draymond Green also talked about how Festus Ezeli's rolling helped change the game back in 2015.
We're not sitting here without Festus Ezeli. He go in, everything going wrong, they've made their run. We're up 2 points, and nobody will notice. He set a killer screen on Mike Conley, get Steph open. He rolled, somebody collapsed in, Drake get an open three. Next play, he set a screen, killer screen, he get a dunk and change the game. So I asked myself that question. He answered yours, I answered my question.
And so, if you look at the play, Ezeli sets a good screen which forces Jeff Green to come over. Iguodala goes to the wing and he gets an open three. Next play down, he sets the screen and rolls hard for the open dunk. So as you can see, the little things help turn the game around and help the Warriors win that game. This also can be applied to pick and pops as well. Here, the Raptors run the pick and pop with Ibaka, and you can see LeBron shading all the way over to Ibaka while leaving Powell open for three. Now some may ask why LeBron would even consider doing that, and it's because he's killed teams in the East with the pick and pop. In those Hawks series where the Cavs rained threes, a lot of those open shots came from Kyrie, Kevin Love pick and pops. With two on the ball, there was no way the Hawks could recover, and Love would be open time and time again. As a result, Ibaka's reputation as a jump shooter allows Powell to get that open shot, and he should be rewarded for that. Today, if teams are better at manipulating the pick and roll and better at defending it, they usually win the game. In an era where advanced analytics have become more popular, there is more of an incentive in understanding why certain plays work or which offenses have become more efficient, especially the pick and roll. We have all these advanced stats like Raptor, box plus minus, or real plus minus that can be hard to understand for a lot of fans. At the end of the day, we want to best figure out what's working for teams and why it's working, and I think having a rolling assist can help with that. Now we can look at pick and roll efficiency, but advanced stats have only really shown if something is effective, but not the why or how. And rolling assists are one way that the pick and roll can be effective. Having stats like this will help fans better understand players who don't necessarily fill up the stat sheet but are still important to team success. And before I end this video, I want to say one more thing. Box scores are the most convenient way of looking at a game sheet and seeing who may have played well, but they don't tell the whole picture. So having more statistics that can explain what's happening on the court can help with that, and that's why I love Chris Paul's proposal. And so if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.